Welcome back to Marvel Ultimate Alliance, where last time was a long, long time ago, and we had just liberated Atlantis and discovered that the Mandarin was the guy causing the problems.
Nice going, moron. You gave me the wrong password. Sorry.
And now Jack Hammer is going to give us some crap. Now, what happened here is that we forgot to talk to him last time. We were in the SHIELD headquarters, and so the game just sort of moved on to the next part of the storyline as far as his hacking is concerned.
No. But I can find out by hacking into the SHIELD priority database. But I need help from one of the few guys who can crack that code. CB Sobolski, or a guy named Baroj. I need you to talk to Hank Pym and find out which of those two
Okay,
guys
so we need to find, we need to figure out which hacker our hacker can talk to in order to hack.
Splendid. You located the missing cufflink. It was a gift from Miss Virginia Potts, back when she had been Mr. Stark's secretary. All this commotion with the SHIELD personnel has me somewhat flustered, I'm afraid. And then there's the matter of the seedy characters lurking about. Yes, I find this Mr. Weasel to be quite...
And interestingly, we're going to talk Jarvis into keeping Mr. Hammer's presence away from, you know, anyone interested parties.
I think Colonel Fury and his people prefer to stay near their equipment. You have my solemn word on it.
But this is the Iron Man lab. There are several characters to talk to here. We're going to hit all of them.
I am glad we were able to help the Atlanteans. While Namor is somewhat headstrong, he is a good ruler. My father, T'Chaka, was the king before me, but he was killed protecting our country's vibranium from Ulysses' claw. No, it was not that easy. First, I had to battle 6 of Wakanda's greatest warriors.
So we get back Black Panther's backstory, just in case you were interested in it.
After that, I was named ruler of Wakanda and the Black Panther.
And our friend Jack Hammer is going to continue to wander around the area here. Now, Jack Hammer is a Deadpool character. And he was portrayed. I think they gave his name to the T.J. Miller character in the Deadpool movie.
Many have tried. All of
So
them have failed
you may have seen this guy, but used in a slightly different fashion,
Mandarin did come
as sort of a buddy of Deadpool's.
Actually, his scheme was far more diabolical. He wanted to convert the vibranium into
And you get a little bit more comic book lore.
Earth. Luckily, he failed.
And
You are quite welcome.
we wander around the Iron Man lab. There are a couple of other guys we can talk to here. Well, yeah, we can talk to this guy.
Oh, that's where data for all the super secret projects is kept. I've never hacked it before, but I've always wanted to. Oh, yeah. The SHIELD priority database is like... It's like one of the holy grails of hacking. They are the creme de la creme of computer geeks. CB and Baroj are the only 2 guys who've made their way into SHIELD files. Well, and live to tell about it. I'd like to think there's honor amongst thieves, but either one of those guys could turn me in, just for the fun of it.
Okay, so we need to go and talk to somebody else to figure out which hacker Mr. Hammer should talk to. Now, this is the Iron Man lab, so there's Iron Man suits and stuff all around this area. It doesn't quite look the way it will in the MCU. Here's a Iron Man simulator disc, and there is Iron Man himself.
I can't tell you how much I'm looking forward to seeing Mandarin again. It's gonna be like old times. Oh yeah, me and Mandarin go way back. I've been locked up in his palace so many times I've thought about having my mail forwarded there. A genius, psychotic, delusional, and out to kill me with a vengeance.
And so now we can go back and get
It all started when I was kidnapped back in my youth.
backstory information on
Kidnapper refused
Tony
to get
Stark.
medical treatment until I created weapons for him. No. Another scientist and I designed armor that would keep my heartbeat.
Now, don't worry, we'll only have to go through this.
The armor worked.
We only have to go through these backstories once, and then we can move on. I'm sure most people either seen the Iron Man movie or know enough about Tony Stark that we don't need to spend all that much time on it. But and moving past him, there's also Elektra. Now, I would point out, and I think I've pointed out this in the past, that this game came out in 2005 or 2006, and the Daredevil movie was one of the closest releases right before this game came out. So Daredevil and Elektra's prominence in the game are probably no accident as a result. And at this point in time, I think Elektra might have been the most prominent female Marvel character outside of the comics, which also may explain one of the reasons why she was given more of a role. Of course, my female representative on my team is Carol Danvers, who has not yet gotten her own movie in the Marvel Universe. In fact, we're going to go through Infinity War before that happens. Wolverine hangs out up here, so we can go talk to him.
I've heard people complaining about S.H.I.E.L.D. since we got back from the Omega. I'm telling you, it's gotta stop.
To give you an idea,
I trust Nick
even though this footage was recorded a long time ago, it's June 1st. Well, no, it's not actually June 1st. It's May 31st, 2017 here. And I just saw Logan a little over a month ago. So I have a little bit more respect for Wolverine as a character now, although it's not going to change many of my decisions as far as who we play as here in this playthrough, because again, we're pretty much going to keep the same team and level it up.
Let's just say that evil bunch of psychos.
Because I think that feature is kind of a really neat feature to have. It's something that didn't pass on to Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2.
And I'll never forget that. Sure thing, bub.
But, you know, you can see Venom is still something of an obstacle trying to move around with the team. Just he's so big and sort of has such unique animations. At this point, the Venom movie is very much going to be a real thing. They've cast Tom Hardy as Venom, which I think is a good choice. Not necessarily my number one choice, but I think that he will be a good choice. I'm not sure what sort of angle they're going to go with the symbiote, because it seems that they're going to divorce the symbiote from Spider-Man. So there's not going to be any sort of Spider-Man 3 kind of storyline in the current Sony Spider-Man stories that they're telling, and they're really making an effort to kind of expand out here, along with Spider-Man Homecoming, which is due out, I think, in July, so about a month away, and the Venom movie. There's also talk of a Black Cat versus Silver Sable movie, which I think would Sony looking to take advantage of some of the female characters that exist in Spider-Man, the greater Spider-Man universe. But speaking of female characters, Nick Fury, everyone.
Mandarin's palace. I need you to bring back the latest Ultimo schematics.
It's still kind of a little disappointing. You can, one of the nice things about this game, comparative to Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, Nick Fury is playable in both games, but in this version of the game, you can use Ultimate Nick Fury's costume, so you can give him basically the Samuel L. Jackson look. And I think I may have mentioned that before, but you got to remember, I'm doing episode 14 so long after episode 13. that I'm probably going to repeat myself a couple of times. I try to do these things straight from the hip, which is often why they seem to devolve into just sort of commentaries on, oh, what am I doing, you know, what am I shooting now? But one of the things you can't do is you can't change what Nick Fury looks like in the hub worlds. And in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, unfortunately Nick Fury, the only version of Nick Fury you get access to is the nanite alien-controlled version of Nick Fury that I'm not a big fan of the way that looks. It didn't stop me from using the character to unlock, you know, a bunch of achievements in that game, though.
He and Mandarin have been arch enemies for years. It is a valley in mainland China where Mandarin discovered.
One of the interesting things about the Mandarin conversation is that you find out, and this is of course coming from a guy who doesn't know a ton about the Marvel comics, that the Mandarin's base is essentially built out of a spaceship from aliens from Maklu 4, and if that sounds familiar to you, it's because way back in episode, I don't know, 4 or 5, when we fought Fing Fang Foom, Fing Fang Foom is an alien from Maklu 4, which I would imagine would sort of attach him to the Mandarin in that spaceship in stories, but I don't know this as a fact because I don't read enough comics. Again, the team I'm using here is a team designed as much around nostalgia as anything else. So, you know, my favorite Marvel characters from way back when I knew absolutely nothing about the Marvel Universe, Spider-Man and Captain America and Venom. Venom, who I was first exposed to right before the Maximum Carnage storyline, and around about the time of Lethal Protector #1. So I sort of understood that Venom wasn't a bad baddie. It was moving more in an anti-hero direction.
That's a robot created by Mandarin to battle Iron Man.
So I've always had sort of an interest in Venom. And then Carol Danvers, again, she's an astronaut. She's a super-powered astronaut. And even though I don't have any connection to her from way back when, that idea just sounds really neat.
Sapolsky? Oh, yeah.
And so that's how we're going with our team here, even though it's, I mean, I guess it's, you know, maybe we've got like half Spider-Man characters, half Avengers characters kind of thing, but that's what we're going. So we're talking to Hank Pym here, and you can see he's telling us about our 2 hackers. He's not the only person who can tell us about these guys, though, as we'll find out here in a second.
No. Try Vision. I bet he'd know.
In fact, he directs us to talk to another character,
That's right.
our pal the Vision.
No problem.
Again, one of the sort of letdowns of this game, and also I guess a letdown of the game that followed it. Okay, we don't need to do any trivia right now, thank you. Need to talk to the Vision. Is the inability to use the Vision as a character in game. I don't know if he's considered to be overpowered or underpowered or what exactly, but you know, you can play as Nick Fury, but you can't play as the Vision. You also can't play as Black Widow, and that'll follow through the next game as well. And you can't play as Ant-Man, or the Hank Pym version of Ant-Man, and that'll also follow through the next game. And I think that, again, these are some lost opportunities, particularly the Vision, who I don't think has powers that would be so terribly different from some of the other characters in the game that it would be hard to sort of, you know, model his animations. With Ant-Man, you'd have to do a whole new series of stuff. to get the shrinking stuff right, and then working from there and all that kind of thing. But Division, you've got your normal sort of shooting of blasts and flying around, and there are other characters who do those kinds of things that you could sort of build around with him, and sort of get that to work.
I am glad to be of assistance.
Okay, but we've checked out our 2 hacker things, so now we can report back to Weasel as to which hacker he should trust. And then once we're done talking to Weasel, we can finally start making our way out of this hub world area and on to our next mission. So here's Wyatt, our pilot, and this is where, and yeah, he could take us, but we do need to remind our hacker friend what we found here. Again, we've already messed that up once by not talking to him the last time we were in the hub area, and he got mad at us. I'm not sure it changed the story at all. So I don't know if you can get Weasel hunted down or arrested, or if everything turns out okay for him no matter what happens. Because from this point on, we pretty much follow all the right moves. And despite Jarvis having a dialogue indicator, all this is dialogue that we've heard before. So we just need to find our hacker friend, who unfortunately likes to wander around. There he is.
Hey.
And now we've gotten that taken care of, we can go off onto the mission.
Hello, my friend.
And again, nothing new here. Nothing. Some of these characters don't seem like they would naturally interact with each other. Like Venom and basically everyone on my team except Spider-Man don't seem like great matches. But here we go. We're going to tell him to take us to the mission. And then I will leave you with this cutscene, and I'll catch back up with you when we've actually start attacking the Mandarin's base.
How could you doubt the god of mischief? My performance as Mandarin was flawless. Rest assured, the heroes will travel to the Valley of Spirits.
I wonder who will be the worst for this confrontation. The heroes or Mandarin?
It matters not, so long as one of them pays the ultimate price.
The traitorous Mandarin will most likely meet his demise. But not without destroying several of Fury's lackeys first.
Indeed. I would find it most enjoyable if my dear brother Thor were to fall in battle, long as he been a thorn in my side. Oh, don't look so sad, Enchantress. When our ultimate plan is realized, you will find others more worthy of your attention than Thor.
I should hope so, Loki. Still, it saddens me that Thor must die. He is truly a god to be admired.
That pompous fool's overdeveloped physique is nothing compared to my conniving intellect. Now, I have longed to crush his self-righteous countenance beneath my booted heel.
Silence! All of you. My scanners show the heroes are in the Valley of Spirits. We have set the stage, and the players have arrived. Now, let us watch and see who will survive this tale of deception.